Here, make
Welcome in, folks. It is time for the Dynasty Hour. My name is Jagger May in the streets, in the Twitter sheets. You can call me Fantasy Blue Chip. And you can also catch me hosting over on Dynasty DGens and then over at Football Guys doing some other stuff and some more announcements coming soon. And then with me, as always, is Fantasy Jesus over there, always there to host our big sister, the main flagship show, and then host of This Guy Sucks, Mr. Chuck Bass, our basshole, and then bringing sophistication to every podcast is Real Mr. Mallard, also known as Andrew LeDuc to us. How are you guys doing? It's week one, like tomorrow. Like we have one more sleep till football. Think about that, folks. One more sleep.
That was exactly what I said last night. 2 more nights.
Yeah, I'm jazzed. If I stood up right now.
Yeah, we're here. I'm so.
We still got you, Jagger. Keep talking. We can hear you. Humming.
You're gonna have a blue vein throbber.
I think
you're golden. We were talking about our.
We'll just get right into
it. You also. We're talking about our raging boners.
Oh, I heard you. Yeah, I was about to say you have a blue vein throbber. That's the one thing I did hear was that. So, yeah, I'm happy with the awkward silence in there. No, it just kind of added to the comedic effect. But we're jumping in because we have lots of news. Week one is already filled with disappointment. Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee, and he is questionable. People keep saying he's questionable for Thursday. He's questionable for tomorrow. This happened yesterday. Like, I think it's I'm thinking that he's probably out. It looks like anyone who still stashed Noah Gray is feeling really happy. But the real question is, where are these targets going to go? How long is he going to be out? Let's start there. Justin, you were excited. We'll start with you.
Oh, no, I'm not necessarily excited about that. I was just excited about the Noah Gray comment because I was a mad stasher of Noah Gray and Isaiah Hodgins, and it worked out for me last year with Isaiah Hodgins. He was on my taxi squad in a Dynasty League for 2 years, and I was just like, when I finally got to take him off, I was like, yes, let's go. And now I can say the same thing about Noah Gray, hopefully, probably not. Some way or another, Travis Kelce will make his way onto the field and probably still catch for 90 yards and maybe a touchdown. So who knows? But all I know right now is that if you were going with the old school approach of win now and get a bunch of old pieces that are kind of still good, you're kind of sad right now because Cooper Kupp and Travis Kelce are fucked for week one, possibly. Definitely Kupp.
Yep.
Well, don't spoil the Cooper Kupp thing. We got a whole little shindig on that. So I'll ask you the question, Justin. Who do you think is going to be the number one target going forward? And do you even want that number one target?
In Kansas City?
Yes, sir.
Is that what you're talking about?
The only city.
Okay. Yeah. I think
it'll be
Tennessee. Tennessee. Well, I didn't know if we were still on the Cup thing or not. Anyways, we never got on it. What am I talking about? So I think it'll be like a week-to-week thing. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is kind of like that guy. He's going to try and make sure he evens out his attention with all of his kids. He's not just going to spoil one kid because he's hella into football, because all of his kids are into football. So he's going to go and spend some time with Kadarius Toney. He's going to throw the ball to him a couple times. He's going to probably give Sky Moore some attention. I don't think you can bank on one person being the number one, but I think you can bank on all of these guys possibly outdoing their ADP until Kelce gets back.
Shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I feel.
So
he said shit.
Yeah,
I know.
No, I'll hold on. I'll just jump in while we're kind of transitioning. So I'll say if you're worried about Kelce, you probably should be, but I mean they're already looking to, as we're going into this season, you take the injury out of it. He was already last year, he played his lowest snap percentage of any year since 2014. They're already working down his snaps and his touches, or not his touches, they're already working down his involvement week to or game to game and just kind of maximizing where he can be used the most effectively. So he might sit for a little bit. It's kind of a 1 to 5 week injury. I think this is great for the running backs. I don't want to touch another pass catcher on this team. This is one of the, you take Kelce out of this mix, this is one of the 3, maybe 2 worst skill position groups in the league from a pass catching standpoint, my point of view. I think this is huge for Pacheco. I think it's good for McKinnon. You might even see Clyde Edwards-Helaire back in the mix, which doesn't make me happy, but it wouldn't make me surprised. Nobody's better at spreading the ball around than Mahomes. So you're praying for a touchdown. Otherwise, I'd be shocked if anybody has more than 40 yards any game that Kelce's not around.
Yeah, and it's like, with the exception of best ball, this is weird because this is like one of the best offenses I want zero part of. If it's not best ball,
crazy.
I don't really
crazy.
want
You're
it.
right.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like imagine putting Tony in your lineup. I know everyone says Sky Moore season, but like I just think we really want it to happen, and I don't think it's ready. Like again, I was talking about this in one of the various group chats that I'm in. That I by design. Let's just, no matter what, I don't draft Tonys and Sky Moores. I don't draft gadget players and everyone's just like, they don't have to route run because you just give them the ball in space. I'm like, okay, that's what everyone knows. Like, you don't think professional coaches and players know that's the way that they get the ball? It's just, if that was the easy answer, Cordell Patterson would be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's a baller. He's a baller, but he could run routes. So it's a bummer. Anyone who drafted Kelce first round, that's why there's no such thing as safe in any round. When there's injuries. If he was playing, he's safe. We could say that, but like, that's always the risk that we play. And I own zero Kelce as well. I know everyone always asks me, they're like, Jagger, like, especially in redraft, they're like, Jagger, do you know that this isn't Dynasty? And like, that's my secret, fellas, is I'm always playing Dynasty. I'm always betting on players in their peak. And if Travis Kelce is going to go first round, I want to go elsewhere in that position and then hope that the tight end that I always take is going to disappoint me like they do every year. All right. So
he's going so high in redraft that you literally cannot afford for him to miss any time. And he's already going to week 1 with an injury. It's painful.
Yeah, but he scores the same amount as like a top 5 wide receiver. So you kind of understand why he goes in that. I'm
not saying he's not justified for where he is, but he's talking about I'm talking about like absolutely capped out the time that you're going to miss based upon the time that you're going to miss from other guys compared to who else you're going to start in, like replacement level stuff. You're behind guys who would be missing a Cooper Kupp in the first round. I think just from what you've invested in those resources.
No, definitely, because your next tight end is like Chigo Okonkwo, and that's not going to make up for any of that. Rather than if you had Kupp, maybe your next guy would be Garrett Wilson. So you could.
Yeah, and I'm not an injury expert by any means, but like, we were kind of, again, in the same group chat, kind of debating about, and I guess we'll go ahead and transition, and this is a good segue into Cooper Kupp, about like your older players. Like I love Devontae Adams as my wide receiver too. He never falls to me there, but I don't like investing in older wide receivers as my wide receiver 1, because like I got a chart shown to me, and basically you have to be built, like, quite literally built different. You need to be a first ballot Hall of Famer to break these exceptions. And that begs a question, like Travis Kelce, he's built different. So with him, I'm not going to hate anyone drafting him first round. I'm just saying that shit happens, and shit did happen this week. You can't even say it was age, because a hyperextended knee, that's an accident. That's not, I'm old in my hamstring like Cooper Kupp, which that's what I'm worried about. Like, we got these compounding injuries here with Cooper Kupp, because everyone's so surprised. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's what happens to like 30-year-old receivers. Like everyone was like, why won't you take Cooper Kupp? Why are you taking Jalen Waddle or anyone else that's under the age of 28? And it's just like this is what it is for me. Am I too much of a dynasty player? Chuck, you're big redraft brain. So let me know. Like base me here.
This one's really hard because it all happened so fast, right? Like everybody was kind of back in on what Cooper Kupp and the Rams could be up until when was this injury? Could it have even been a month ago? Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
A month ago.
Yeah, so it's just like
Cooper Kupp made the first inside the medical tent, which was the very preseason week 1. So yeah.
So just absolute pain. And I mean, you want to see teams make the right call and rest him immediately, not rush him back. You know, we're going to talk about a couple of guys coming up that teams handling it correctly. There's just way too much talent at wide receiver to have to play this game. You're going to be behind the 8 ball the entire season. I understand the opportunity cost of, you know, potentially having like a top 5 guy year in, year out, but like, what is that going to do for me when you're drafting him around CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra St. Brown? It's just not worth the risk. And I'm already seeing guys whose teams are at a massive disadvantage because they chose who could have been the wide receiver 4 over the wide receiver 5. And now that pick's going to fall down to like wide receiver 39. Just terrible.
That's an excellent way to put it. Exactly. Like to me, Amon-Ra St. Brown, like we think about profile, it's the same to me. It's the exact same. So why wouldn't I want the younger, fresher version of that over Cooper Kupp? And I get it, man. Like, let's say that quite crazy stuff happens and I need to take Cooper Kupp, then I will take Cooper Kupp. But I mean, we've done 1,000 drafts, man, and I get the combination of an Eagles receiver, Garrett Wilson, Olave, Amon-Ra St. Brown routinely. I don't need to get Cooper Kupp. So I just like to me, you never want a victory lap injuries. I love Kupp, but like I propose the debate that he's not built different. He's really, really great. He's a Rams great, but like he's not that Devontae Adams. He's not Kelce to me, and I don't know, man. Again, there might be zero correlation. This is like onlyvibes.com, like Chuck over here. That I just feel like some players have longevity, and all those players seem to be studs, like no question. Whereas Cooper Kupp, you know, like we live too much in like a time bubble. So then, like as I move around to the group, I'll pose a question to you, Andrew. A player that I really liked, even when he was drafted. And I invested heavily in him. Now I'm cashing in and trading him is Van Jefferson. Do you think that, like, where do you think he lands and what he can offer you? Obviously he's not Cooper Kupp, but do you think he can give you steady wide receiver 2 weeks, like top 24 weeks, or even like your occasional spike week?
I'm not super confident in him, but I know he's getting a ton of hype, but I still see Van Jefferson as just what Van Jefferson is. He's got a more limited route tree obviously than Cooper Kupp, and I just don't see him being the type of guy that takes the game over. Given how I feel about Van Jefferson, I'd rather take a shot on a younger guy like, how do you say his name? Puka Nacua. I don't know how to say it right, but Nacua. Yeah, thank you. I'd rather he's also getting a bunch of hype right now. He's coming up, but Van Jefferson seems to be the guy everyone's rushing to the waiver wire for. I don't think Van Jefferson's production changes without Cooper Kupp there. I think someone else steps up. I'm not saying it's definitely going to be Puka, but I'd rather take the shot that it's going to be him, or one of the tight ends coming up. I even say, you know what, Kieran Williams, I think, has a steadier option to get some more touches out of the backfield here, and catches in the flats or some short slants. So I'm not going all in on Van Jefferson on the waiver wire, or just in general in DFS this week.
Andrew,
Mark.
It's so weird. I agree with you, but I disagree with you. Like, I agree with you, but none of your reasoning, with the exception of Puka Nacua. Like, I think Van Jefferson's a good route runner and a good player. It's Matt Stafford for me, man. Like, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think. I think this whole team's ready to retire. McVay's ready to retire.
Right.
Aaron Donald's ready to retire. Like, everyone's just like. Yeah, everyone's just like, okay, I guess we're gonna do this one more time. It's like when you see a show like How I Met Your Mother, when it got like 2 more seasons, you're like, should it? Like
No, they should have wrapped this story up. They should have wrapped these plot lines up.
That last season was rough.
Exactly. So like that's where I'm at with the whole situation. But like Puka Nacua costed nothing, and that's what it comes to the value. Like right now, especially in redraft, Van Jefferson is spicy. He's boba tea right now. It's 2 sips, but it's really nothing. Like at the end of the day, you didn't really consume anything, but like somehow you spent $15. So like was it tasty?
I like that.
But now I need some water.
So he played. Van Jefferson and Cooper Kupp didn't play a snap together last year. Van Jefferson played 8 games without Cooper Kupp or Odell Beckham. Obviously, he didn't have a game with more than 3 catches one time, and that's with Matthew Stafford and Baker Mayfield at quarterback. I don't see why that would change this year. It's not what you want.
Yep.
Yeah, I cashed out my last share. I got a second. I sent Van Jefferson and a 4th for a second, and it felt good.
That's great.
Yeah, dude.
What's happening over there? People are crazy.
I love it was my brother-in-law. I love that guy, but I had to rip them.
Fam jam.
Yeah. So Justin, we'll finish with you, then we'll go to the next topic. Do you like Puka Nacua? Because like we're all kind of like Van Jefferson's like nah, like he's nah. I'm not drafting him. I'm off the boat. Where you at with Puka?
I love Puka Nacua. I've said it plenty of times. I watched Jaron Hall tape and I found Puka Nacua. This is a guy who's got a lot of great downfield talent. He's a more explosive version of Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson, he was just so much nice hype when he came out. You were like, oh man, he could be something. And then next thing you know, it's 3 years later and you're like, wait, I'm still drafting him in the same position. He's still there at like the very last pick. Why is that? It's probably because he's nothing. And it's not that he's nothing as an NFL player. He's just nothing as a fantasy player. He's not going to flash. He's worse than Josh Reynolds for fantasy. And that's saying something because Josh Reynolds is consistently 4 for 40 and maybe he sneaks in a touchdown. Van Jefferson is like 2 for like 12 and maybe every once in a while he'll catch a bomb and you'll be like, oh, it's Van Jefferson season again. I'm ready for that. I'm not ready for that. Puka Nacua comes in with the ability to run a Sean McVay offense. More importantly, he could run a Kyle Shanahan offense, which is pretty much Sean McVay just knocked off Kyle Shanahan's offense. So he can do all the end arounds. He can do all the Debo stuff. He can take short passes. They can script him for screens. They can do all this stuff with him. And I like the potential there. One guy also that I want to mention, Tyler freaking Higbee. Don't tell me that Tyler freaking Higbee's value didn't go up this year with that news that Cooper Kupp's going to be out. I guarantee you anybody who's drafting their home league right now, draft Tyler Higbee right around round 15 or so, and you probably will not be disappointed because that guy will get you like 7 catches for 40 yards. 11 points right there. 11 points.
Yeah, that's to me, Tyler Higbee, his value went up, but it's kind of like when Doge's value went up. It's like, cool, it's still worth half a cent, and it went up 50%, you know?
doubled its value.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with Higbee. So
that's fair enough. Half a cent is worth a lot in this freaking tight end climate, though. Like, Jesus,
in this economy, in this tight end economy, that it is something. It's like I said, like I'm in a double tight end Devy league, and I hate that league so much because I'm not going to have a tight end for 4 years unless I sell the farm. It is double tight end premium Devy, and I'm like, why did I do this to myself? And it's like 6 years later.
Did you get into a league with David Gautieri? Did he sink you in a league? Did he put you in a league? That seems like something he would do. That's all. That's why I'm shouting.
It's a Brandon Hayes league. I was like, you guys love suffering. Don't bring me into your weird BDSM league.
Oh yeah, Haby would do that shit too. Yeah.
Yeah, Haby, exactly. That is a Haby. You know what I'm talking about. All right. We'll go back around to you. Doubs and Watson, Christian Watson, that is. This is some pretty fresh news. We knew Doubs was having problems all off season. But Christian Watson, he's been what some people are calling what I think Brandon Ayuk is, which is like a wide receiver 1 at wide receiver 2 price. I don't believe it. I've never been a Watson guy. I don't think he's like bad. I just don't think he's as good as what his numbers show, because his numbers show that he's a pot player. Do you like Jaden Reed? Or do you is this someone that you're going to pick up, or you're going to think's really going to raise in value? Do you think Luke Musgrave is going to follow what we all think is going to be a breaking of the mold when it comes to rookie tight ends?
Yeah, I mean, I like Jaden Reed. I've been drafting him a lot in the end of my drafts because he's there. I don't think a lot of people know his name yet. You know, a lot of people have been infatuated with Marvin Mims, getting Tank Dell. Like myself, I was on Tank Dell for a while. But Jaden Reed's kind of been my new flavor of the month, my little experiment. I've been getting him in a couple of drafts, and I've been liking the value because it's all money at where he's going. You know, I can get him near to the last pick in every single startup draft right now, as far as redraft goes, not Dynasty, of course, but redraft goes. And you know, if I'm okay with him sitting, just like I would have been okay with Tank Dell, he's got plenty of time to show me during the season that he can be a target hog at the slot receiver. Also, I mean, Luke Musgrave, I don't really know what's there. I've heard he's very fast, and I've heard he's a decent route runner. So maybe that means something. I guess it has to mean something because you're a rookie starting at the tight end position for the Green Bay Packers. Whatever that's worth. But, you know, here's something for you. I don't think Jordan Love is that bad. And I want to pitch that out there while we're talking about this is going to be a hot takes episode. I think Jordan Love has the top 15 potential this year. Call me fucking crazy, but he's going to have to throw it to somebody, not just Aaron Jones. I think one of these two guys could break out for sure.
I don't think that's that crazy of a hot take. Like I tell everyone, I don't know what Jordan Love is. I'm not one like, well, if he was good, then he'd be starting over Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, Aaron Rodgers had one bad year, but he was still pretty good playing at a high level for a long time. And that's like, I've been a hater, but I show respect where it's due. You're not just like Jordan Love would have had to have been Patrick Mahomes to dethrone Aaron Rodgers. And like, we're not saying he's that, but he could be very good. And I, for one, I really like the sum of I like the sum of the parts of this offense. I love Jaden Reed. I love Christian Watson, and I love Doubs as a good wide receiver trio because they all do different things. And then Luke Musgrave on top of that. And then we forget Tucker Kraft is like a little double tap right there that they have, where you have a lot of weapons. And then another guy that we forget that is an excellent pass catcher is Aaron Jones. So when it comes to being surrounded by talent, I don't think Jordan Love can be in that much better of a situation unless it was like Brock Purdy or something like that. But other than that, I think I think that he's going to be, to me, at cost, especially if you're going to punt your QB2 and Superflex, or even if you're punting a QB1 and single QB. I don't think that's hot of a take. And like, to get back to the original player, which was Jaden Reed, one reason I'm off Van Jefferson is because there's a shiny new Van Jefferson, and I'm ready to see what he does. And that is Jaden Reed, man. I love a little second, third round route runner with a chance to get on the field. So I'm all in for him. Anyone want to add anything to Doubs and Watson before we move on to what I think is some controversy?
I'm ready for the controversy.
I wouldn't say adding much. I just want to say I think that Matt LaFleur deserves everybody's trust and respect to develop an offense that will suit the talents of everybody that they put together post Rodgers. And I'm really excited to see what they're able to do because I think it's going to surprise a lot of people.
Well, here's the controversy that I almost love it because I think it's market manipulation. Tell me that Bill Belichick isn't a dynasty player. Tell me he's like I'm gonna insider trade like a mofo because Ezekiel Elliott is likely going to be the red zone back, or lead red zone back. Cool. Yeah, cool. Like I like it now. I guess there's two backs. We've been saying it this podcast. We've been saying it everywhere as a committee, guys. Just get your like strategize for whether you want the lead back or the bottom back. I still love Ramondre. And now, again, I tweeted this in the year of our Lord 2023. I'm drafting Elliott at the end there. because it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
No.
Chuck, I know you're kind of in on Elliott at cost, so I'll let you take it here. How you feel about Ramondre, and how do you feel about Elliott separately?
I love this because, it feels like they're the only two players on the entire offensive depth chart, which I know we keep making that joke, but I don't see any reason why we can't keep making it, because every week something better and better comes out about both of these guys. I love them. I think this is a two-headed beast. I never subscribed to the idea that Zeke was washed. I just think that anybody playing next to Tony Pollard is going to look like me out there. So, I still think he's got a pretty good amount left in the tank. I like this offense to be a little bit more run heavy than it has been. I don't think Ramondre is going to feast because he's very dual threat capable. And I just think Zeke is kind of that, that plugger. He's going to, eat up those red zone touches very much like we've been, he's entering into the Melvin Gordon, Mr. Steal Your Points phase of his career. And God, he looks so good in that jersey. He looks so good.
Ezekiel Elliott's going to be the 2023's Jalen Tolbert. You guys remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We all remember the vulture, like the Jalen Tolbert on there, and it's like you said, man. Like I sent out trades for Ramondre, and here, like the week before last, 2 weeks ago, every news was bad news to me. I was just like, I was like, oh God, like there goes my Lance shares, like it was just bad news after bad news. The last 2 weeks, baby, it's like every week Nordstrom Rack has a blowout sale. I'm just hyped as hell.
Oh, dude, you know who he is? I'm trying to figure out the deep cut here. Mike Gillislee is back for the Patriots.
Oh,
he's back.
Mike Gillislee, yeah.
Only better.
I was saying, because he was a bit of a disappointment for the Patriots. So.
He had 3 attempts for 3 yards and 3 touchdowns in his Patriot debut.
That happened.
You wonder if Belichick says, you're in the Gillislee role now.
Mm-hmm.
When he talks to
Zeke. It's like you said, I think Zeke is, I guess, washed is relative. He is not Ezekiel. He doesn't look good, but I just need him to fall in the end zone. Every other week.
He'll do that.
That's what I need you to do. Yeah.
He'll do that because the Patriots need him to do that too. Because they got, it's just him and Stevenson at this point right now, really. As far as the offense goes, and look, for all those who drafted late this week, you were still like on the eve of the season right now. His ADP was still running back 42 and overall 123. So you're getting him in that 11th round. That's still a fantastic price for a guy who, at least in these first couple of weeks, should be able to get you, running back 3 numbers, if not better. But
I wonder if they're like a poor man's Gibbs Montgomery.
I think they're a middle class man's.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't call them poor man.
I was
I'll
about to say like they're your bring your lunch pail to work. Kids Montgomery.
I think that I don't even think that far off from Gibbs and Montgomery. Like, I feel that's a pretty good comparison. Potentially,
it's like, it was Chuck and Kluge because like. What had happened is I missed out on one share of Tank Bigsby. It happens, but Christian Williams got me. He got me. Like, of course, the Debbie guy got me on there. So I had to draft Elliott because I was tilting at that point. Because, like, again, fading running back's a dangerous game. You have, like, 4 rounds to get it done. And then I was like, oh, Tank Bigsby's gone. Pivot. And I had to double tap Ezekiel Elliott, Damian Harris. And then in redraft, when you look at that, and even – like it's running back. So like you're always playing redraft with running backs. No matter what format, you're always playing redraft. That's not ugly, man. If you got good receivers, it's not ugly. They're useful. You're a Patriots fan as well, Andrew. You're positive about this too. And like me, again, as a Patriots fan and a Ramondre owner, I don't want them running him into the ground. I'm okay with 15 to 18 quality touches, so I get them all season. So are you buying Elliott? Have you drafted any Elliott? Have you traded for him? What about Ramondre?
I haven't traded for Elliott, and I think I might have one Stevenson share across all my leagues. He's just a guy I wasn't able to grab when he was going, unfortunately. But I do have a handful of shares of Elliott as like my RB4 on a few teams. So, which I'm satisfied with that. Like you said, because I'm stocked up at other positions, and he's someone I might be able to slide in given the matchup. So, look, as a Patriots fan from a team standpoint, would have I preferred to still have Damian Harris instead of Ezekiel Elliott? I think so. I still think that. But I think it seems like Elliott has bought in. It seems like he's bought it. He's been very public about loving it here in New England, and loving the culture. So like, hey, if he's going to buy in and he's going to go out there and accept his role, that's the best thing for him, and that's the best thing for all of his fantasy managers, because that's how you stay on the field for Bill Belichick.
Exactly. Like you buy in, and like what this team needs to do is scramble and scrap for a wild card spot.
Yes.
Like we're in one of the toughest divisions in football, so you need to be competitive every game, and the games that you're supposed to win, you need to win. Like
there's a local writer up here who had the spiciest, hottest take I've ever heard. I heard it on the radio this week on 98.5 The Sports Hour, last week I should say. He said he wrote an entire article in I feel what magazine it was now, saying that the Patriots were going to not only win the division but sweep the division this year, not lose a single game.
Sweep! Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah, I was about to say.
I almost drove my car off the road. I almost drove my car off the road because I was like, "What did I just hear?"
I love Boston. Boston Chiefs fans think they have that. I'm a huge homer in their blood. They don't know anything about what Boston fans got going on.
Boston are murderous about it too. It's like we will drive our star player to suicide if we've got to in Boston. You know, it's just like that is unhinged, and I'm like optimistic this year. Yeah, like
so big time.
Like again, this is a guy that doesn't understand statistics. We've only done that 1 year, and we lost the Super Bowl. Like you just don't do that. Yeah. So we're gonna lighten around through these so we can have enough time for our hot takes. Really, this is called depth chart fuckery. This is the range that we're in. Like none of this matters, and all of it does. So I'm gonna go to the stuff that doesn't matter first, and then we're gonna finish in the one little nugget that does. David Montgomery is the lead back. We knew that. That means he's going to get the early down work. Jahmyr Gibbs is like a joker. Is anyone shocked? No. Moving on. We're all fans. We'll just shove past it. This one is fun, and this is kind of bad news for me because I wanted DeAndre Swift just to be the guy. But Philly listed all four backs as a starter.
It's such a troll job, though. That's what
it is. I fucking
love it.
I know.
Nick Sirianni, the biggest fucking troll on the planet.
I've never seen a coach so built for Philadelphia. Like he is built for Philadelphia, dude. Because like nobody's satisfied. We all knew it. That this is how it's gonna be. But we were at least hope that they would play the game a little bit and give us something to cling on. And he said no.
He fully accepted that forward slash, and I think we're going to see it a lot this year in his depth charts.
Yeah. So we'll go to the thing that does matter, that is significant, especially for Dynasty. And I don't think we've talked about it enough, which is sad because A, Chuck is a Bucs fan. 2, I scout rookies, and we're just smart people. But Sean Tucker is an RB2. If you weren't buying Sean Tucker all offseason and drafting him, that's on you, dog. He was free. He was nothing. He's been nothing. Like I've taken him in redraft. I've taken him in Dynasty. I've traded back into the 4th round of Dynasty and said, "Oop, let me get him." You know, like his heart may be broken, but I'll mend it. And I mean that both literally. So Chuck, do you think he has a chance to take over Rachaad White? Because I think he was a better prospect than Rachaad White, in my opinion.
Yeah, he has got, and to piggyback off your point there, he's been the guy in every redraft league that when I hated like one of my picks in my draft, I immediately drop him and pick up Sean Tucker, who's been free in every single league. We've been there. We all know how that goes. We all have those guys. He has 2 things going for him, which is the offensive coordinator just came out and said they really love what Rachaad White can do, which is the kiss of death right before the season starts for Rachaad White. You hate to hear that. And secondly, what this team is going to be forced to do under Baker Mayfield, regardless of the rest of their skill position players, is going to lend themselves to Sean Tucker's talent, more so in between the tackles, and just his ability as a runner to break tackles and get to that second level, which honestly is the only thing I think that Todd Bowles is going to rely on. So wheels up for him, and I don't think it'll take very long. This is a team that has to play a first-place divisional schedule, despite having one of the lowest odd win totals over unders. So I mean, they're just going to get hammered. So when people get hammered like that, they freeze up and they panic and they give the ball to the running back 25 times.
Yep. Justin, do you like Sean Tucker?
All right. So hold on. So I do. I like Sean Tucker, but I think that this thing got a little bit blown out of control. I compared him to Snoop Connor only in the fact that he was taken later or not taken at all. Obviously, I had to revise that Snoop Connor was taken later and actually earlier than Sean Tucker. But they were both really hyped going into the season. A lot of people were like, oh, Snoop Connor wasn't hyped. Yeah, it's because you're playing this retroactive game where you won't look back and you won't look at the comments and all the people that were saying, oh, Snoop Connor has a position going forward in Jacksonville. There were a lot of you that said that. I'm not going to call out names, but you know who you are. And third, that they're on teams with terrible fucking lines. I mean, I don't care if Sean Tucker gets this by week 2. What's he going to do behind this godforsaken line? No offense, Chuck. I'm sorry that your team's line sucks. Everybody's been there. We've all seen a line that's been terrible. But
that's true.
Yeah.
We all have. Yeah.
We all have.
Every team goes through it.
We still are looking at one up here.
San Francisco had the Jim Tom Sula years where I just didn't know if they were playing football, if they were playing Canadian football. I didn't know what was going on there. But I'm just being realistic here, guys. Sean Tucker, whatever you want to say about him, I think he probably would be better on somebody else's team, but I don't see him as anybody who's going to light the world on fire. And I wouldn't waste the draft pick on him, but if he's there at the very, very, very end and you want to take a flyer, I will not hate you on it. And he probably will be a waiver wire pickup at some point because I don't think Rachaad White makes it through the entire season, injury or getting replaced. I don't think he makes it through the entire season.
Well, Justin hates free candy. We all heard it, guys. Don't get him anything.
I was the kid at Halloween that said, give me the apple, not the candy. Yeah. I don't want their free candy.
We got a wet blanket. Well, we'll pay some bills, and we're going to come back with our hot takes.
Fantasy Sports Corp and Underdog Fantasy have teamed up to start your fantasy season off in the win column with Best Ball. What is Best Ball? It's quite simply the easiest way to win. No team management, no trades, no waivers. It's their biggest contest ever and it has only gotten bigger. You simply have to sit and win. You don't even have to set your lineup. Always get your best score every week. Just enter a contest, draft your team, and Underdog will do the rest. What could make this even better? How about free money, up to $100 using our exclusive promo code? Go online now and use the promo code TSSDYNASTY to double your deposit up to $100. You tell them Gingerbread sent you. Good girl.
Good girl. And guys, it's DFS season. So they're not before you should have been loading up on puppy dogs, puppy bowls, whatever. I mean, if you like puppies, you can load up on them too. But now it's DFS time. This is a year where you're really a degenerate and you're sweating bullets. You're trying to win parlays. This is the year. Make sure to use that code. So we're going to talk hot takes. We'll start with me and then we'll swing to Justin. We'll just go clockwise. Mine is, I think that Brock Purdy is going to lose his job by the end of the year. I'm not saying that Donald is better. I'm just saying that all of them are kind of mediocre and they just should have done a better job. Like overall, as front office management, should have done better. So I think we might be hearing the Brady rumors week 8 or something. And I think right now, especially Brock Purdy is a huge sell because let's put it this way, regardless of what you think or what they say, all it's going to take is for them to be on like the playoff bubble, or let's put it this way, if they're not leading their division, then they're going to be ready to move on because they're not married to him whatsoever. He is a 7th round pick. And I'm prepared to be wrong. I'm just saying I'd rather cash out and especially in fantasy, I'd rather get a quarterback that gives me a rushing floor because regardless of what Brock Purdy does, he's not consistently going to give you even Daniel Jones numbers. Justin, you're the 49ers fan, so we'll take it back to you. Did I break your heart?
No, not at all. You never break my heart, Jagger. I don't have a heart, at this point. You got to be able to have nothing be personal in fantasy or regular football. People will always be tearing you down. Plus, my family is like all Raiders fans, so they've been all hating on 49ers for like ever. So nothing you can say that I have never heard before. But I will say this. I think that Brock Purdy has a chance to lead this team far. And a lot of people don't believe in this guy. And for me, I look at it as I've seen this offense completely, upgrade from the degenerate that it was. I mean, this thing was terrible with Garoppolo. A lot of people want to say Garoppolo won. No, the defense won a lot of games, and Garoppolo was just there throwing passes.
He didn't lose. That's what it was. He didn't lose.
Yeah, exactly. When Brock Purdy stepped into that offense, whether you want to say it's just because he was a rookie and they didn't have tape on him, they put up 30 fucking points a game outside of the Eagles game. 30 fucking points a game. Jimmy Garoppolo was lucky if he ever hung 30 points on somebody, if it wasn't help from fricking the defense or anything like that. So I choose to believe that this team is much better with Brock Purdy. He's a much more decisive passer. And, I think that that's what you need in a Kyle Shanahan system. Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with Brock Purdy right now. I hated the Lance situation, but at least it's over and he gets a fresh start somewhere else.
Andrew, where are you at with my hot take? Is it too hot? What is it on the spicy meter? Like it's B-dubs or something. You're ordering wings.
It is pretty spicy because I'm more so leaning with Justin that I think Brock Purdy will be okay to where if he does lose his job, I think it would be later in the season. I don't see him losing it on a timeline like you're projecting here. So I guess I'd say it's quite spicy for me.
Okay, I'm going to double down.
I got you.
Is it crazy to say that Sam Darnold is a better prospect and could be a better prospect than Brock Purdy? Like,
you beat me to it, man. Son of a
bitch.
Better prospect, sure. Better player, better actual player, no, definitely not.
Look, I was
more talented arm strength wise, 100%. He's got more natural attributes, 100%. But as just as a dog, as just somebody you want on the field every single down leading your team, tell me you don't want Brock Purdy. Tell me you want Sam Darnold. Please just tell me you want Sam Darnold on your team leading.
I want Sam Darnold. That was easy.
You want Sam Darnold. Sam
Darnold was up 3 touchdowns on the Buccaneers in Week 17 here, and to win the division. The entire team crumbled. You said that Brock Purdy is going to take the 49ers far. The 49ers are going to take Brock Purdy far. I think he is one of the luckiest quarterbacks I've ever seen play. I don't think he has what it takes to play in the league, and I think that the defenses are going to catch up to them. And there's not a team in the NFL that is on the hot seat more than the 49ers are right now. And I do not think that they will hesitate to pull the plug, like he said, and go right to Sam Darnold. Because there are much worse quarterbacks than Sam Darnold that I've seen execute this 49ers offense. The floor is too high.
Yeah,
I mean, they might do that, but
at as high a level as it did last year.
Yeah, significantly. No, higher, probably. Higher, maybe.
What you guys are missing here about Sam Darnold is that he already won his Super Bowl for the year. He made the team. Like that, like what's he got to play for now? He's already hit his high for the year. I'm trying to be funny, but I'm also serious.
The great ones always have that carrot dangled in front of them.
Yeah.
Well, he's not a great one. So,
well, let's call it a house divided, and then we'll go to the next take because I've quietly stashed a lot of Sam Darnold. Yeah, I've quietly stashed Sam Darnold. We'll go to Andrews. I don't think this is a hot take. I think
I misunderstood the assignment. To be fair, I misunderstood the assignment.
Okay.
I thought you were looking for week 1 hot takes, not season-long hot takes.
Season-long hot takes. If you were going to say season-long top 10, this is a take.
So that would be hot take for season-long.
Yeah. Do you want to use it? I'm here for it.
No, screw it. Why not? Because I do like David Montgomery. And here's the thing. I really like David Montgomery this week specifically. I think he's a smash play for week 1. And you brought up DFS. He's in the showdown lineup. He's only 6,600 and 9,900 for your captain spot. And I think it's very realistic. He gets in the end zone twice this week, tomorrow night. So, I mean, David Montgomery seems like just a smash week 1 play for me, period.
100%. In my start sits, he's my running back to start because Sigmund Bloom brought up like basically to stop the Chiefs, the Lions need to do what they do best, which is grounded pound football and play a tough brand and keep Mahomes off the field. I mean, that's like, to me, that's the obvious that like you can't expect Jared Goff. Actually, Jared Goff has done a shootout with Mahomes. I've watched that game. He's with the Rams. But I love Montgomery. But for the season, I think that he's going to be – I think he's top 10 for the season. I don't know. Like, you think about what Jamal Williams just did. David Montgomery's an upgrade. So like, top 10 is in his range of outcomes. It's not – to me, that's not hot. Like, if anything, it's like garlic Parmesan with a little bit of kick on it. Like to me, it's very realistic. Is that wishful thinking? Because I'm on this bandwagon with you 100%. I know Chuck's there. Where are you at, Justin?
Yeah, no, I 100% believe David Montgomery can do it. I mean, Jamal Williams could do it. Why couldn't David Montgomery do it? He's a lot better of a back. So, I mean, he's going to offer you a ton more on the receiving end. You know, I know Jahmyr Gibbs is there to play the Joker role, but we don't even know what that fully entails at this point. And, you know, this could totally be a sit-it season for him as far as, like, take a back seat to David Montgomery, learn how to be a good running back from a good running back, and then next year be a great running back. So I don't know. I think this offense could easily – it's already shown that it could supply 2 running backs with enough points. But, I'm with you guys. I think David Montgomery is a steal at this point. He's fallen so far, and Jahmyr Gibbs is right there next to him. Still so high.
He's going in like the the 3rd round right now, 3rd, 4th round, it seems.
Yeah.
Do you think Dan Campbell's the type of head coach where if Montgomery does get off to a hot start here, then he just kind of goes with that theory of, well, we're just going to ride him and let Gibbs chill? Like, do you think he's the type of head coach that'll do that, or do you think he's going to try to force his young guy into the field?
I just think they can play. I think Montgomery's going to have to come off the field. And like, one thing that I've really saw this preseason is that Jahmyr Gibbs has improved a lot as a pass blocker. So I think definitely in those passing 2-minute drills, 3rd down, regardless this year, he's going to be on the field. And then on top of that, if you think about how depleted this receiving core is without Jameson Williams, he's going to be playing in the slot. I know we talk about this every year, but this is the one year where, like, again, you got your CMCs, your Gibbs. These are guys that are for real. Like they are really quality receivers. They're going to have them on the field at the same time. So, like, again, well, like we've been talking about, it's wheels up for both. I'm here for both of them at cost. I have tried to draft Gibbs in the round. I'm fine drafting him in round 3. And I hate running backs. He's the only one that I'm willing to do it. So
I'll throw another wrinkle in there at the end, is that something I really love about Ben Johnson, the OC there, is that he doesn't come from this LaFleur Gruden tree. He doesn't come from this Andy Reid coaching tree. He's like kind of forging a new path for a different kind of offense and what it could look like. And we have really no idea like how wild they could get this year. And I think there's a lot of opportunity in that. It should be a lot of fun.
Yep. Yeah, I feel really good about it. And with that, we'll go to Chuck's hot take, which I kind of like. And to be honest, is it though? Because like,
no.
The only thing that I don't think this is a smash, and it has nothing to do with the quarterback. I guess I'll say it. Chuck's take is Dallas is going to ride a top 5 QB, running back, wide receiver, and defensive special team to a number 1 seed in NFC. I would say that this isn't a hot take for one reason, and that's Mike McCarthy. Everything else, I think that Dak Prescott can play quarterback. CeeDee Lamb's great. We all like CeeDee. Tony Pollard is Tony Pollard, whatever you think about him. And they have a lot of pieces on this defense that somehow didn't do well after 1 year. I don't know. That was a weird year. They had a weird one funnel defense. So I don't think this is that hot. Justin, what do you feel about this?
Oh, no. Dallas was my pick to win the NFC East. I think Philly got away with a really easy season last year. I mean, it's hard to get to the Super Bowl, but when you have limited injuries, you have one of the easiest, if not the easiest, schedule. And then, at the end of the day, you got really lucky with essentially destroying a man's elbow in the NFC Championship game. You cruise to the Super Bowl. So I think the Eagles got off a little scot-free. And I think that Dallas has the ability to really test the Eagles and that kind of young defense now, because they moved on from a lot of guys and they got them to the Super Bowl and replaced them with great rookies, but still rookies. Still need time to figure out the NFL game. Still haven't played at that high of a level. Still haven't played really against grown men yet. So I think this could be a year where the Eagles kind of take a step back, maybe get into a wild card position, and the Dallas Cowboys go forward with the additions of Brandon Cooks and Micah Parsons being an absolute force from what we've seen on practice reports.
Yeah, I agree. Andrew, do you got anything to add before we pay the bills one last time?
I've got a pitch here if you guys want to hear the pitch and then break it down. So you covered the defense. That's pretty speaks for itself. They add Stephon Gilmore, who had a very nice bounce back last year. Number one defense in the league, I think. CeeDee Lamb, that's really easy. 400 targets in 3 years, increasing his target share significantly. Not worried about Cooks, even though I kind of like him. Not worried about Gallup at all. Should be a lot of fun there. Tony Pollard, the threshold to finish as a top 5 RB in production is 19.5 total touches per game. I think that's extremely achievable for the Cowboys, running back one. Plus, they don't have any depth behind him that I'm really worried about. The big one is Dak, but I'm actually a little bit – the more I've dove into the offensive coordinator, Brian Schottenheimer, and what he was able to do in Seattle, Russell Wilson under him finished QB1 and QB3 2 out of 3 years. A lot of play action to set up deep intermediate passing down the field. I think that there's a lot of opportunity there. And, once again, to bring up top 5, 22.2 points per game was top 5 last year. Dak finished at 20.5, so it's only a little bit more. Plus, they finish with Seattle, Philly, Buffalo, Miami, and Detroit to close the season, which is a week 17 correlation. Darling, I'm very excited for this team to be the number 1 seed and then lose in the divisional round.
That does sound so Dallas.
That is like, I was like, dude, like that is, if we got the NFL script, like, I'm like, oh, okay, so we're doing this again? It's the same thing.
Get it together, guys.
Yep. I wrote all that down. I had to get it out. Sorry.
No worries, man. Yeah, it was good stuff. Like I said, like to me, I love all the players because even me, I underrate how good this group of pass catchers are, because Jake Ferguson's for real. I think like he flashed already last year, and Dallas has kind of proven that they can churn these guys out, like these quality guys. And then on top of that, Michael Gallup is their wide receiver 3. They don't like Brandon Cooks. He produces everywhere. It's like, to me, I feel like he's safe. CeeDee Lamb isn't going to have to eat a lot of the coverage that he saw last year. So it's Mike McCarthy is the thing that worries me. So we'll pay the bills one last time, and then we'll finish off with Justin's hot take. I don't even know what it is.
Jazz, sportsbook, casino, and racebook, the world's best resource for all-purpose online wagering. For over 20 years, Jazz has provided the best and quickest payouts in sports and entertainment wagers. Live sports betting, covering all the major sports leagues, and even into the new and exciting world of esports. Down the stretch you'll come, with Jazz's online horse wagering. Get paid when you play with Jazz's fun and exciting online casino games. Go online now and use the promo code TSS for our new members deals. Jazz Sportsbook, Casino, and Racebook, the world's best resource for online wagering.
Jazz Casino. And now for the big reveal, because like I said, I don't even know what Justin's hot take is. What is your hot take, Justin? What is it?
Well, it's probably that that habanero, but not the spicy habanero, like the mango habanero of hot takes here. I'm gonna
Ooh,
say
I like
that
that.
the LA Chargers win the AFC West by beating the Kansas City Chiefs twice on the back of Justin Herbert's MVP season.
Bro, that was mango habanero. Because at first I'm like, that's not hot. And then you kept going. And I was like, oh. like crept up on
I was just saying, 'cause I'm not
It
gonna lie,
went
I'm
from
pretty sure-
mild to a little bit up, baby.
Got
to
really
mango habanero.
Really
Need the blue
specific. I
cheese
like
for
it.
that one.
Yeah, like Chuck said, he got really specific. It's like, bro, did you make a parlay? Like that feels
Yeah,
like
that's
a
what
parlay.
Oh, 'tis the season, bro. It's all in. It's all locked in.
Andrew, how do you feel about this one?
So same thing. The first part of that, I'm pretty sure actually when I ran out my week by week predictions, I did have the Chiefs losing both times to the Chargers. So like that, I'm right there with that. But yeah, the rest of that is quite that's quite spicy. That's clenching the butthole kind of spicy right there.
What's weird is it's like it's spicy, but like a lot of things have to happen. Is
Yes.
Justin Herbert MVP caliber? Yes, he's MVP caliber. But like, are all of his receivers going to stay healthy? Let's hope. Is Brandon Staley a good coach? I don't know. 1 year I thought he was, and the next year I'm like, maybe he's not that good. So I don't know. And then like 2, he is in a division with Patrick Mahomes, but the Chiefs got a lot of problems. Like we underestimate Chris Jones. I'm sorry, the private chat's going apeshit. Chris Jones is holding out right now. Travis Kelce could be injured. So I don't know. Like it's again, it's spicy, but I like the flavor. Let's put it that way. Chuck, give us your thoughts on here.
This one's really hard because I really want that to happen. I love Justin Herbert and I love the Chargers uniforms. I don't know how those connect, but they do somehow. But you look and the Chiefs, man, the Chiefs and the Chiefs fans are asking for they're obviously never going to have a bad year with Mahomes, but they're asking for a down year with what they have going on right now. Losing Chris Jones, potentially losing Kelce. That's just not what you want. Chargers schedule is fucking crazy when you look at it. It is brutal who they have to play, but if your quarterback's playing at an MVP level, they usually take care of business. So I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's spicy, but it's a good flavor. To be honest, I think mine is like the least likely to happen because like they seem to love Brock Purdy the most. So I don't know. And like I'm not a Brock Purdy hater. Like this is a good story. I want him to be good, but I am too jaded and too much analyst brain and just know better. Like it's like Justin said, man, we're at the level now where I'm so far removed from my fandom for the most part. Like, it's hard to get excited for storylines when you just kind of know the reality every year. And I think the most likely to happen is definitely Andrew's. So like Andrew, you got the garlic palm, the garlic palm.
It was the simple one.
Yeah. Like yours is mild. Mine is like the funk ass like jerk chicken. Sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's bad, And then you got Justin with the mango. Chuck, I think you're like classic traditional. Like it's one where it's spicy, but like all the ingredients are there. Like it is pretty. Like if you really think about it, it's just like, is Mike McCarthy a shit coach? That's the only thing. Is Mike McCarthy going to fuck this up?
That's the line because he had Rodgers. He had Rodgers forever, and then they had Kellen Moore. So now this is him, like on the ice by himself, and we'll see if he's our buddy guy.
Yeah. Well, that will end the show this week, folks. We'll come back. We'll have more for you because we actually had some real football and real data and real opinions about real things, and the speculation is over. As always, my name is Jagger May in the streets of Fantasy Blue Shit. Fantasy Blue Shit.
Blue shit. Let's go.
Blue Shit,
Nice.
everybody. Fantasy Blue Shit. It's after you have a lot of blue Kool-Aid. And then with us, as always,
Ooh.
is host of This Guy Sucks, our basshole, Chuck Bass, and then host of Divots and Pivots, real Mr. Mallet, Angela Duke, and then Justin Herrera with us, Fantasy Jesus, to save your lineups. You can also catch him on TSS flagship show every week, and we'll be back next week again, guys. We're here. We did it. Football's here. Love you guys.
Go.